Let's Chazal again. Perek Aleph Mishnah Daled, the last Mishnah of the first Perek of Demai.
Yes.
So things you could do with Demai that you cannot do with Teva, with things that for sure have not had Trumas and Meisters taken.
Right.
One is Hademai Ma'arvin Ba. You could use Demai to make an Eruv, even though food that you're not allowed to eat can't be used as your symbolic food that you put to show that everyone lives here. With Demai, since technically it could be eaten, we'll see later if a person's poor, he could eat it. So if a person declares all their property ownerless, they could make themselves poor and be able to eat it. So you can use it.
Is this a new Mishnah?
This is a new Mishnah.
Yeah.
No, so we did this on
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
On Wednesday. Umishtatfinba, you could use it to make a shituf, which is what we traditionally call an Eruv, where you take a bunch of chatzeros and join them together into a city-wide sort of communal Eruv. If you eat it, you do make a bracha. And if 3 people eat it, they would make a zimun together. As opposed to Teva, where when you take off truma, you need to make a berachos, you have to be dressed. By Demai, you don't have to be. One could take it off not wearing any clothing because it's just separated. There's no bracha that's made, and you could take it off bein hashmashos. You could take it off Friday afternoon when it's already unclear whether it's Shabbos or not, even though the Rabbanan forbid separating trumas and meisters on Shabbos because it looks like fixing the produce, but here, since it's a suffix, they allowed it. If you take them off in the wrong order, you take off meiser sheni before meiser rishon, in bekach klum, by demai, there's no problem with that. And then, again, back to what uses are chayv in demai. Shemen shagardi sach betzbais, of the oil that a weaver uses to smear his fingers to keep them supple, as chayv b'demai, because anointing oneself with oil is considered like drinking it, so that's like human consumption. The oil that a guy who's combing wool combs into the wool, that's potem in a demai, because that's used more in a industrial use. That's not going to be obligated in demai. Okay, let's begin Perek Beis, second Perek. Elu dvarim misasrim demai b'chol makom. So we mentioned before that there are some things that the obligation of taking off meiser and demai is only till kaziv, only till a point in northern Eretz Yisrael. These things anywhere you have to take off, and they explain because these produce are likely brought from Eretz Yisrael. So even if you're buying them in, I don't know, somewhere further north, you're buying them in Syria, the assumption is that they've been imported from Eretz Yisrael, and therefore
What chapter are we on?
2. And these things you have to take meiser off with the demai anywhere, because we're afraid that they were imported from or exported from Eretz Yisrael. Hadvela, the figs, vatmarim and dates, vachorvin and carobs, ha'oires and rice, vakumin and saffron. So these things apparently were common exports of Eretz Yisrael. So if you're somewhere else, you have to be afraid that maybe these came from Eretz Yisrael, and therefore they have the regular demai. And the Mishnah tells you, rice that grows outside of Eretz Yisrael, kol mishtamshis minu potter, any use of it is potter. And apparently the rice was recognizable from the produce, whether it had grown in Eretz Yisrael or not. It was either, a different species, or the climate was so different that you were able to tell the difference. So rice, as much as it's assumed to be imported from Eretz Yisrael, I guess Eretz Yisrael's rice was much better quality. If you can tell that it grew not in Eretz Yisrael, then obviously it would not have the limitations of Demai. Okay, let's stop here. Sorry.